Everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another Epic 7 video, and I should really be wearing a Christmas hat because it is Christmas time in the land of Epic 7 updates. We're gonna look at this thing. I've browsed through it. I have not read specifics. What I do when a patch like this comes out is I scroll through it just to see if it's worth making a video on, and then I reread it with you guys together. So we're gonna go through this with Yuna up at the top right, since I think a lot of this is Yuna's doing. First thing we see here is Challenge Rampaging Kickarat version 2. So this event is Thursday after the maintenance, which is tomorrow, until Thursday after the maintenance. So it's only up for a day. That's so weird. So after clearing stage 6-1, Northern Wing Corner, go to the lobby, blah, 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 reward. This is what we all care about. Upon finishing battle, players will receive XP, Stigma, Gold. Additionally, players will be randomly rewarded with either lesser charm equipment or a 3-star Rampaging Kickarat. So that's pretty sweet. And we can see the rates here, 28% on hard, 12% on normal. So you're gonna get this. I assume you just farm until you get it. That's really cool. You probably want to farm enough to memory imprint it too. I'm pretty sure. Players cannot use this hero as an ingredient when enhancing or promoting other heroes. Yep, that makes sense. The heroes can only be used for memory. Yeah, that's so exactly what I was saying there. This is a high-tech military machinery modeled after Gigantes. I have not watched that yet. I'll do it after. But these are the abilities here. Kickarat version 2 is a light knight with a high defense and strong attack. You can maximize the effective defense mode with the enhanced counterattack effect from cleaning mode. Highly effective against enemies with many buffs. Awesome. So something like golems this might be really good for. I'm not sure yet. I haven't read the skill set. Kickarat's version 2 attack increases as its defense increases. So by utilizing equipment that increases defense, players can create. Really cool. So I'm glad that they did this. A lot of people ask me why they would ever build defense percent over HP percent, and I always tell them that there are heroes that scale off of defense percent, and that's when you're going to want to do it. Just because while defense is fantastic, I don't think it's good as HP percent, just because HP percent cannot get defense broken. So that's what really pushes it up. So auto fire here, attacks with a Gatling gun with a 50% chance to dispel one buff. Really like that, and that'll probably go up to 75% chance to dispel with some upgrades. The second one increases defense of the caster by 3% while attacking, can stack up to 5 times, so 15% defense. So this is going to be really good for labyrinth style things. I really like how they added these monsters that are great for labs. Cleaning mode. After awakening, fires indiscriminately at all enemies with a 60% chance to decrease hit chance before triggering counterattack for 2 turns. Damage dealt increases proportionate to the caster's defense. That's awesome. So I'm pretty sure you can proc counterattack and then get hit with defense mode and then get a ton of defense up. I really like that. The other thing we have here coming is Vildred drop rate. So that's coming on the 22nd to 28th. And people are like, why Vildred? Nobody likes Vildred. And that's because he's getting a buff. And one of those things I keep telling people, ignore tier lists for the most part in this game. Things are going to get buffed and nerfed and buffed and nerfed and buffed and nerfed and buffed and nerfed until the end of time. It's just the way games like this go. And one thing I find absolutely hilarious is Summoner's War did this too. Sorry for saying Summoner's War again, but they literally did the 13%. It was always a weird number. It wasn't like increased by 10%. It was always like 13% or 6 or 6.5 or 7. Not sure why they always choose this number, but apparently they do. So sweeps damage is increased by 13%. Dancing Blade will have an increase of 25% attack. Will now increase the attack of the caster for 2 turns instead of 1 turn, so that's a 2-turn buff. So that's a pretty big buff to him. I'm not sure what this does to Vildred. I don't have Vildred to test it out. Rose Knight of Ice here. Shielded Knight will now add an effect to the target. Cover an ally with a shield, dispelling 2 debuffs and increasing combat readiness. Oh, this is after. Barrier strength is proportionate to the caster's defense. So this does the same thing, but does a barrier as well, and it's also proportionate to your defense. So Rose, you're probably going to want to build defense now. I don't know what you built before, but there is that. They're also decreasing the cooldown by 1 turn, increasing the combat readiness by 5% on Goddess of Victory. Pretty sweet, pretty sweet. And this is what I mean. They're gonna always do this to units, and it depends on the meta, it depends on whatever. They want to keep things fresh because it's not fun to use the same character for X amount of years in a row, you know? And we have Mercedes here. Increase the damage dealt by 3 times when there are 3 or fewer enemies. I'm not sure what it was before. Maybe it just means a pure three times upgrade, and I wish this was Dark Mercedes too, but it doesn't seem like it is. We have Rin here. Increase the amount of times the random barrier can appear by 100%, and now the amount of damage the barrier can withstand increases proportionate to the target's HP. So that's really cool. So this gives high HP targets bigger barriers, and it also happens more often. Again, I don't have Rin. A lot of these heroes I don't really know until I use them. Wanderer Silk, we did know something like this was coming. Increase the base chance of bleeding by 15%. Maximum chance is the same as before, so that's really cool too. Add an additional attack for automatic fire, now occurs 50% of the time when targeting an enemy without debuffs. So, and granting the chance. Oh, so it has a 100% chance when it has a debuff and 50% chance when it doesn't, I think. Guided Aether, the damage dealt by Spirit Protection will be increased by 15%. Cool. I like extra damage. The damage dealt by Wave of Force will increase by 20%. I also like more damage. So that's pretty cool. Just a straight up damage buff to Guided Aether. And this one is just a change. This is not actually changing. The skill description has just been changed, so nothing different there. As for Falconer Cleary, I kind of think she needed this because her upgrade does not seem too good. Damage dealt by Light Step has increased by 30%. That's a pretty big upgrade. So that is pretty fantastic. And it also enhanced the effect of Trust Rune from 2-5-10 to 3-8-15. Pretty sweet. See how many changes there are? This is going to happen a lot, by the way. And we have Judith here. Judith is the 3-star Fire Thief. I really like her, but I've never found a reason to really use her yet. She's just going to get an all-around increase to stats after level 60. This will happen all the way before too, but this is just showing you what it'll be before and after. So like 100 more attack, 200 more HP, 5 more speed. That's probably the big one. Getting 5 base speed is huge. We have Azalea. Ooh, there's so many. Decrease the cooldown of challenging blow by 1 turn. That's a provoke, I'm assuming. Attacks the enemy with an 80. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, 6 turns is way too long. 5 turns might even be too long, but I guess we'll see and we'll test that out. The cooldown time for sweep has decreased, and the chance to turn has been increased by 25%. Awesome. So this probably puts it up to 75, maybe 80, 85 to 100% on this to decrease speed. So that's pretty sweet. Muchacha, I don't have him on my main yet. The damage for this skill has been increased by 50%. Okay, so they really wanted to give him some damage because he must not have been performing too well. The cooldown time has been decreased by 2. And this is for Enlightened Blow. Like I said, I don't know these. I have to read these with you guys. That's kind of why I like doing these videos, because I don't know everything yet. So it's fun to talk to you about them here. Just a pretty steady 50% damage and 2 turn down cooldown increase or decrease on Muchacha. I'll have to take a look at this guy. I'm not familiar with him, so I know he's one of the Beastmen things. I'll have to take a look at him. Maybe it's worth it with that big of a cooldown decrease. Carrot here, Blaze Explosion, cooldown by 2 turns. That's insane again. I hope that's good. And Gerardo. Dark Magic will now decrease regeneration of all enemies by 35% at the beginning of the battles. Additionally, the issue in which the skill was not properly applied after a certain number of turns has been fixed. What does this do? Decreases regeneration of all enemies by 35% at the beginning of battle. I don't really know what that means. Like, regeneration seems to imply, like, healing over time. But that just seems so weird. I'm not sure how that works. Dark Explosion now decreases the combat readiness by 15%. Any sort of buffs are great. So yeah, that's all the changes directly to characters. So there were no nerfs this time around unless they're further down. So that's one thing to notice. All of those were buffs. We have content balance adjustments. For challenges, the chance of dropping a charm on each training ground on hard and hell has increased by 25% and 50%. That's good because I never even went into these. Decreased chance of getting no drop at all and increase the chance to get equipment instead. Cool. Abyss, the gold rewards are increasing by 50% and the stigma rewards is decreasing. I'm not sure if this is a good or a bad thing, to be honest. Dispatch mission, stigma that is given as a reward for completing the dispatch mission will roughly be increased by 2 times. That's really good too, but I still don't think it's going to be enough to do this over the labyrinth or the PvP one. And this one is big. Like, this one is really big right here. In adventure mode, normal and world, and the side stories, the drop rate of 2 stars will be doubled. That is really, really, really big. That's a lot more fodder we're going to be getting here. There's a ton more buffs and fixes here, or improvements and fixes. I'm not going to read through those. These don't seem too important. Artifact fixes here. Battle fixes. Yeah, monster fixes. Cool. Arena fixes. Interesting. Inventory. There's we go. There's an interesting one. The maximum amount that the hero or that the inventory can hold has been increased. So we're going from 200 to 250 and 350 to 400. I'm always for inventory space increasing because boy oh boy do I need it. The search criteria for batch sale will be saved for the next batch sale. I love that too. What else? Some guild improvements here. Improve the guild menu and text selection for the player's convenience. I really hope that fixes something in the guild menus. Holy, there is so much stuff. It keeps going. I'm trying to see if any of these are... I'm sure I'm going to miss some of these. I don't think there's anything too important there. And we've got another side story coming. Next week, the special side story, Eulogy for a Saint, will begin. Take a look at 20 years into the past as Diane prepares for war. So is this Diane? I think it is, and I'm pretty excited to try that out there. So that is a pretty big update. Like, that's a pretty big first real update we got. I think Vildred's going to be pretty good because right now he's kind of at the point where he's not quite good enough, and maybe this will push him over. And I think he gets better the better gear you have, so maybe this increase will help you attain that part first. Anyways, this is fantastic. I'm really excited to play this event. I'm really excited to play that side story. I'm really excited to test out some of these new 3 stars as well. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always. Let me know in the comment below down there if you have any thoughts about this update. And let me know if you're pulling for Vildred. I'm personally not going to. I'm going to save my whatever I have left for another day. But hopefully some of you get them. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.